Welcome back. We are at Dinsey Springs.
Again.
If you're new here, I'm Kevin.
I'm Karen.
We're at HughesAndBrews and we
drink and we do
things. So tonight we're at Dinsey Springs again. There was, the last time we were here, we caught like the last half of a song of an entertainer. Accidentally on the way out.
Yeah.
And he was really good. So we decided we had to come back and see a full set of his. So that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to get a drink and we're going to check out that musical act that's playing at, what's it called, the Landing? What's it down by the food trucks?
It's by the food trucks.
So that's what we're doing tonight. So stick around. We start with drinks, and we have a few drinks here. We are at Enzo's Hideaway, Dinsey Springs. It's 1920s, 1930s speakeasy themed bar restaurant, and I went with what they call Luciano's Spritz. It's blood orange, Aperol, and Prosecco.
This is called a hazelnut old fashioned. It's got frangelico in it and some kind of limited edition bourbon that, for the life of me, I can't remember what it is. So we'll have to get the menu and look at it, but I'm pretty excited about it.
Speakeasy theme, I guess we couldn't go with beer here, which we do quite often, but this is going to be good.
I'm excited. Cheers. I was afraid it was going to be sweet because of the frangelico, but it's not. You get just a little tiny hint of hazelnut. It's really good.
As expected, it's that champagne-y, although it's Prosecco, it's not champagne, but it has that kind of bubbly, well, it's not really the same thing, but it has that bubbly, sweet flavor with the fruit, so kind of, I guess along the lines of a mimosa.
I was going to say that, right.
But it's
like an amped up mimosa.
Yeah, it's really good. So, Enzo's Hideaway, it's themed. The backstory here, because every Disney restaurant has a theme or a backstory. An Italian couple has a bakery. They moved to Disney.
It's upstairs.
They moved to Dinsey Springs in the 1940s. An air terminal next door goes out. It's closed or it's not used anymore, abandoned, whatever. And they take over the air terminal, which was like the Dinsey Springs airline or something. And they're going to make that their Italian restaurant. And so when they're renovating that building, they Enzo finds these like secret tunnels below the restaurant for like that were used by rum runners. So he finds like old bottles and casks, and he finds like lists of the people who did the runs and the pilots, I guess, and whatever. So it was a secret tunnel that led to the abandoned power plant that was next door, which, if you're familiar with the Edison here at the Springs, the Edison is a steampunk-themed restaurant / nightclub, which is themed as an old power plant.
I'm excited to do that video.
So that's a fun place,
and
we'll do a video from there as well. So this speakeasy themed bar restaurant is actually a tunnel that goes under the bakery, and there's actually an unmarked door in the theme of the speakeasy that opens up into the Edison. So actually, if you're in the Edison and you're by the restrooms, there's an unmarked door that if you go into that,
all of a sudden you're in the restaurant.
All of a sudden you'll be in this restaurant.
It's kind of cool. Drey-C. So we're here to see Drey-C. Is his name. We found him accidentally the other night when we were leaving, and we stopped to use the restrooms, and he was just finishing up his last set of the night, and he had a huge crowd, and everybody's phones were up, right?
Yeah, he was
Right?
really good. And so we
Yeah,
caught
he was super good.
We caught like the last half of his last
It
song.
was like a Justin Timberlake song or something. He was killing it.
And so
It
we
was so good.
decided we should come back, and so that's what we're doing tonight. We're gonna
Drink our drinks.
and do things. So tonight's doing things is the catching a set of
Drey-C.
Drey-C. He's originally from Brazil. He's got like 9 albums that he's done. He's doing pretty good, but he is really, really talented. We had never seen him before. At least that night was the first time I had ever seen him.
For the amount of times that we're here, and we had never seen him before, but I think
You
he's
mean
been
like
performing here for a
the
while.
2 or 3 times a week that we're here, you mean?
Something like that. When the bartenders at the what are they called, like remote bars along the Springs say, I recognize you. Have you been here before?
Yeah,
You know you're here a lot.
we know a lot of bartenders. I'm not sure what that says. But... You want to try it?
I don't know if I do. I don't know if it goes with my bourbony, hazelnutty.
You don't know if the bubbly, sparkly drink goes
No,
with your
I-
bourbony old fashioned. Is that an old fashioned? Is that what it was?
Okay. It doesn't go at all, but it's good. Like
But
if I had gotten that as my drink, I would enjoy it, but it doesn't go with
Well, with the theme here of like these tunnels were supposed to be used by rum runners, I was originally going to get a rum drink, but the only one that had rum in it was I think their version of what the dark and stormy is. That what
Oh,
it's
and you
called?
don't like ginger beer.
I don't like ginger beer, so I didn't get that. So I figured I'd try to find something that was along the the Italian restaurant theme. So
Yeah.
I went with the prosecco.
Yeah.
So the building that this is in, well, between Enzo's, is it Enzo's and Maria's or Maria's?
Maria and Enzo's. So it's so confusing to me because they have 2 different names. There's Enzo's Hideaway, which is the speakeasy bar. And then there's Maria and Enzo's, which is the restaurant.
So between this building and the Edison,
Yes.
the Edison used to be the Adventurers Club.
Congalouche.
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 And then this building, I think, originally was the Neon Armadillo, which I don't remember. I'm going to assume that was a country bar. And then it was, I think, the BET Soundstage nightclub I read. I don't remember either one of those things, but
That's because we never really went further than the Adventurers Club,
maybe.
right?
So these buildings,
Right.
this location here, they go back to the original Pleasure Island days.
Good times. Right?
Well, isn't
we were so young
the
then.
grotto at the Polynesian now supposed to be semi-themed on what the Adventurers
yeah,
Club
and
was?
they do some of that. Like, remember the first time we went there and my stool went down and I was on the ground all of a sudden? That is a trick from the Adventurers Club. They have like the little shticks that they do depending on what
The
drinks you order.
So it's
Yeah,
a little bit like
it's a much smaller scale.
It's a mini
Adventurers Club-ish.
So my drink has prosecco in it.
Yep.
And what's the difference between champagne and prosecco?
Champagne is made in France, and Prosecco is just Italian champagne.
Right. So
essentially.
right. Made slightly differently. Champagne made with what's called the traditional classic method, which is more involved than how they make prosecco in Italy. The champagne has more steps. It's got the base wine, which is Chardonnay or some different kinds of Pinot grapes. Then they add sugar and yeast to the base wine, which yeast eats sugar to make alcohol and CO2. And so there's a second fermentation. Then they do a thing called like riddling, which is where all the wine bottles are in those racks where they're like slope down
Yep.
towards the necks.
Yep.
And they put white lines on the bottom of all the bottles. So every day or two they go in and they know that they turn them.
What does that do?
Makes it champagne, I guess. But must keep them turning, and then they freeze it and do like a.
They freeze it?
I think they do a freezing or a deep cooling, and they like filter it so it's like a cleaning stage. But anyways, the prosecco's made with what they call a tank method, which is kind of just take the wine, add some yeast, sugar, let it ferment, cool it, drink it.
The Italians need to get to the alcohol quicker, evidently.
So that they say other than supply and demand affecting price, the reason champagne's more expensive than Prosecco is because they claim a little bit, oh, well, there's more steps involved, but I guess they say it's really about supply and demand and marketing that they charge a lot more for champagne than Prosecco. So I'll drink Prosecco all day long.
Yeah, right? It's just as good. It's just as good, sometimes better.
While we finish our drinks, this would be the perfect time for you to reach down and hit that subscribe button.
It's free.
It's free. So if you subscribe, you'll never be left behind when we head out to do our drinking and doing things.
Just do it.
Because you knew that I would be a one, yeah. I know that stress is gone, I feel regret. Got me thinking about when you were away. You're just making sure I'm never getting over you. Run around, going back to the coal mine. 'Cause you knew that I call you up. And girl, you steady. I'm at a party I don't wanna be at, and I don't ever wear a suit and tie. I'm wondering if I can sneak out of that. Nobody's even looking me in my eyes. And then you take my hand, finish my drink, so shall we dance? Oh yeah, you know I love it, I ever tell you, but you make it better like that. Don't think I'm fitting at this party. Okay, as long as you just hold me there, you can take me anywhere, and you're making me feel like love by somebody. I can deal with the bad nights when I'm with my baby. Like nobody but you, like you're the only one here. I don't like nobody but you, baby. 'Cause I don't care when I'm with my baby. You're throwing home all alone. You're so 40 on a friend zone. We're talking and you walk away every day. Oh, you don't think twice about me. Maybe you're not. It's been a pleasure to be here with you guys tonight. Thank you for joining us. Let's do one more song, boys. Cause you're a sky full of stars. I'm gonna tear it apart, but I don't care. about 30 minutes. Thank you for joining us. Good night, everybody.